Antiochus III was born in 241 BC. He entered a world of power. The Seleucid Empire, his birthright, spanned vast territories. It stretched from modern-day Turkey to Afghanistan. The young prince carried a legacy of conquest and ambition. Little is known of his childhood. We can imagine him amidst the splendor of the Seleucid court. He likely received an education befitting a future king. History, strategy, and philosophy would have been his companions. The seeds of ambition were sown early. Antiochus's early life coincided with a period of turmoil. The once mighty Seleucid Empire was crumbling. Internal strife and external threats weakened its foundations. This turbulent backdrop would shape the young prince's destiny. He would inherit a kingdom in peril. Antiochus's story is a reminder of the burdens of inheritance. Power, so often desired, comes at a cost. He would learn this lesson firsthand as he transitioned from prince to king. The fate of an empire would rest on his shoulders. Antiochus III ascended to the Seleucid throne at the young age of 18. The year was 223 BC. The empire he inherited was a shadow of its former glory. Rebellions simmered within its borders. Ambitious neighbors circled like vultures. He faced an immediate crisis. His own relatives, vying for power, challenged his claim to the throne. Antiochus, however, proved his mettle. He suppressed these rebellions with ruthless efficiency. He consolidated his power and secured his position. The young king understood the precarious state of his empire. He knew that only through strength and determination could he restore its lost glory. He embarked on a series of ambitious campaigns, his goal to reunite the fractured empire and reclaim its former territories. Antiochus's rise to power demonstrates the importance of resolve in the face of adversity. He could have easily succumbed to the challenges that confronted him. Instead, he met them head-on, proving himself a worthy successor to the Seleucid legacy. Antiochus III's early campaigns focused on quelling internal rebellions. He understood that a house divided could not stand. He needed to solidify his base before expanding his reach. He targeted rebellious satraps in Asia Minor and Syria. His campaigns were swift and decisive. He combined military might with shrewd diplomacy. He offered clemency to those who surrendered, turning former enemies into allies. By 220 BC, he had largely pacified these regions. With the west secured, Antiochus turned his attention east. He aimed to reclaim territories lost to the Parthians and Bactrians. These campaigns, known as the Anabasis, would test his skills as a commander and strategist. Antiochus's early campaigns reveal his multifaceted approach to leadership. He was not merely a conqueror, but also a cunning strategist and a pragmatic diplomat. These qualities would serve him well as he faced even greater challenges in the east. Antiochus III's eastern campaigns, lasting from 212 to 205 BC, were a testament to his ambition and military prowess. He led his armies across treacherous mountains and arid deserts. They faced fierce resistance from the Parthians, Bactrians, and even Indian kings. His campaign began with a series of victories. He subdued the Parthians and forced them into submission. He then turned his attention to the Greco-Bactrian kingdom, reclaiming lost Seleucid territories. He even ventured into India, seeking to emulate Alexander the Great's conquests. While his campaigns in the east were largely successful, they also highlighted the limits of his reach. He realized that holding on to such vast territories would require a considerable and unsustainable commitment of resources. Despite this realization, Antiochus III's eastern campaigns were a remarkable feat of military logistics and leadership. He had restored the Seleucid Empire to a semblance of its former glory. He had earned the moniker Antiochus the Great for his accomplishments. However, a new and formidable power was rising in the West Rome. While Antiochus III was consolidating his power in the east, a new power was emerging in the West Rome. The Roman Republic, fresh from its victories in the Punic Wars, was expanding its influence across the Mediterranean. The two powers were on a collision course. The seeds of conflict were sown in Greece. The Aetolian League, a powerful Greek confederation, sought to challenge Macedonian dominance in Greece. They saw an opportunity in Antiochus, hoping he would aid them in their struggle against Rome's allies. Antiochus, sensing an opportunity to expand his own influence, agreed to support the Aetolians. He landed in Greece in 192 BC, marking the beginning of the Roman Seleucid War. This conflict would have far-reaching consequences for both empires. The clash between Antiochus and Rome was not merely a clash of armies. It was a clash of ideologies, a battle between the old order of Hellenistic kingdoms and the rising power of the Roman Republic. The Roman Seleucid War, lasting from 192 to 188 BC, was a pivotal moment in the ancient world. It pitted the Seleucid Empire, led by Antiochus III, against the Roman Republic and its allies. The stakes were high, with control of Greece and the eastern Mediterranean hanging in the balance. The war began with a series of Seleucid victories. However, the tide turned at the Battle of Thermopylae in 191 BC. The Romans, led by the consul Manius Acilius Glabrio, decisively defeated Antiochus's forces. This defeat forced him to withdraw from Greece. The war culminated in the Battle of Magnesia in 190 BC. This battle, fought near the city of Magnesia ad Sipylum in Asia Minor, was a crushing defeat for Antiochus. His forces were routed by the Roman legions, effectively ending the war in Rome's favor. The Roman Seleucid War marked a turning point in the balance of power in the ancient world. It signaled the decline of the Seleucid Empire and the rise of Rome as the dominant power in the eastern Mediterranean. The defeat at Magnesia had severe consequences for Antiochus III and the Seleucid Empire. The Treaty of Apamea in 188 BC, which formally ended the war, imposed harsh terms on the defeated king. He was forced to cede all territories west of the Taurus Mountains to Rome's allies. The treaty also imposed a heavy financial burden on the Seleucids. Antiochus had to pay a massive indemnity to Rome, crippling his empire's already strained finances. Furthermore, he was forbidden from raising an army in Roman territories and from engaging in wars without Roman consent. The aftermath of the war saw the Seleucid Empire reduced to a shadow of its former self. Its territories were significantly reduced, its treasury depleted, and its prestige tarnished. Antiochus, once hailed as the Great, was now a diminished figure, his ambitions thwarted. The Roman Seleucid War marked the beginning of the end for the Seleucid Empire. It never fully recovered from its defeat, and its decline continued under Antiochus's successors. Antiochus III met his end in 187 BC, a year after the Treaty of Apamea. He died while attempting to loot a temple in Elymais, modern-day Iran, to pay the war indemnities imposed by Rome. His death, ironic and ignominious, marked the end of an era for the Seleucid Empire. His death, far from quelling unrest, plunged the empire into further turmoil. His sons, Seleucus IV Philopator and Antiochus IV Epiphanes, would inherit a kingdom on the brink of collapse. Their reigns would be marked by internal strife and external pressures. Antiochus III's death serves as a reminder of the ephemeral nature of power. The once mighty king, who had striven to restore his empire to glory, met an undignified end, his legacy forever tarnished by defeat and desperation. Antiochus III's reign was a paradox of triumph and tragedy. He inherited a crumbling empire and nearly restored it to its former glory. He led successful campaigns in the east, earning the epithet the Great. However, his ambition ultimately led to his downfall. His conflict with Rome ended in defeat, marking the beginning of the Seleucid Empire's decline. Despite his failures, Antiochus III left an undeniable mark on history. He was a skilled military commander, a shrewd diplomat, and a capable administrator. He briefly revived the Seleucid Empire, demonstrating the potential for greatness that still resided within it. Antiochus III's story is a cautionary tale about the perils of ambition and the shifting tides of history. It is a reminder that even the most powerful empires are not immune to decline. Yet it is also a testament to the enduring spirit of those who strive for greatness, even in the face of overwhelming odds.